Things not. Thank you, thank you. Sorry, my things, they're uneven. Sorry. Well, they got to be even, otherwise somebody's going to be watching it online and be like, why is his, what are these things called? Drawstrings? No, I think there's actually a word for them. Anyways, let us know in the chat if you know what those things are called. You get a free pizza. Seth will deliver it. But not to New Zealand.
Why would he know what the strings on a hoodie are called? He only shot fashion for half his career. You know, why, you know.
Anyways, that was a long time ago. And as Joe McNally said, I've forgotten a lot of things. Anyways, I'm Daniel Norton. Welcome to OnSet. This is the first of 2026, so welcome back. I got Erica here. Seth on the Mighty Mix. Oh, Seth gets applauded for now. That's nice. Ever since you got the...
You don't exist without me.
That's true. I don't. It'd be a black screen. All right, so we're going to talk about three-point lighting. We decided to start off the year with some kind of back to basics, get you going. Maybe you're new to Flash. Maybe you need a refresher. Maybe it's just cold outside and you wanted to come in and hang out. That's also cool. So we're going to talk about three-point lighting. You probably hear that a lot. It's like, oh, you hear that almost as much as Rembrandt lighting, right? So three-point light, what is that? So effectively, when you're lighting something, right? When we're doing photography, right? We're creating a flat image, a two-dimensional image, right? And what we're trying to do with lighting, ideally, is to create a three-dimensional feel. So it looks like, you know, because I understand that you're actually three-dimensional, but if I make a photo of you, they don't know that. You could be flat for all we know, right? So basically, we're trying to create that. And we do that through various light sources and shadow and highlight and stuff. So oftentimes people will work with what is called the basic three-point light. That is to have, you have three lights or three light sources. You've got some kind of key light. Your key light is what shapes your subject. You generally have some kind of a fill light, which brings your shadows up to the density that you want them to be. And then you have some kind of separation light, which could be a classic hair light. It could also be lighting the background, right? And that's your kind of three lights. Now, you might find situations where you're using like two lights to light the background and then the other things. That's still probably three-point lighting, depending on how you think about it, right? Because the idea is the background's lit. So we won't worry too much about that. If you want to look at my very old video about how to create three-point lighting with one light, Mary, we're not going to do that today. That was very complicated. Can we do this? I think we're ready. Yeah. All right, here we go. All right, so let's start with 1 point. So key light, we're going to shape Erica's face. This is Erica. Did I say that? I think I did. All right. It's been a while. The holidays came and went. Yeah. Yeah, we were just shooting for having some fun, creating some videos for PPA. So the first thing we want to do is do no point lighting. That is, we want to remove all the light in the space so that we know that we're in control, right? That's why we use light, one of the main reasons. We want to know that we can control our subject. We know what's going on. Every bit of good or bad lighting in the shot is going to be from me. I take all the credit, I give some blame to Seth, and we go from there. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up the camera so that when I make a photo, nothing is, you know, there's no photo made, I should say, without my flashes going on. So we're going to set our shutter speed at the maximum shutter speed within its normal range that it syncs with a flash, because we're using flash, 200th of a second. ISO at the lowest within the normal range, which is 100 for this camera. Again, we're trying to block out light, so we're keeping ISO low. And then the f-stop we're going to set based on how bright the space is. And also, to some extent, your depth of field, right? Like if you care about having more depth of field, you could close down even more. I have a plain background, so I don't necessarily care if it's sharp or not. So I know in this space, generally somewhere around 7.1 is the right place to be, but I'm going to do a test shot because things change. And I'm over here in Capture One. And we can see effectively there's a black frame. All right, so next week, come back. And no, we'll keep going. All right, so I'm in Capture One. Like I said, I'm going to check my adjustments. That's cool. If you're not tethered, I don't know why you're not, but if you're not tethered, then you could just look at the back of your camera, make sure it looks black. You should be good. But the real test of this is we want to see how dense our shadows are, right? Because this darkness is the density of our shadow. So the absolute blackness of it. So I'm going to grab my exposure slider, and we're going to slide over until we start to see skin tone. So around here, and I'm going to look, and that's about 2 stops underexposed. That gives me about 2 stops of range into the shadows before I start picking up the light in the space. That's pretty good. 2 to 3 stops is where you want to be. Anything less than that, if you start trying to do a little bit more kind of contrasty images, you're going to start picking up the interior light. So we don't want that. We want to keep our shadows black, we want, unless we're filling them in ourselves. Okay, so we'll do a key light. So I have 3 lights to choose from here, 3 modifiers, I should say. I've got a beauty dish, right, which makes people beautiful, right? We're gonna put an octagon. It's not here because it's a small space. And then I have a strip bank. So when I'm thinking about my light sources, again, the key light is what shapes our subject, right? So depending on what you're doing, for a single subject like this, I typically like to use a little bit of a punchier light, a smaller light source, so that I can shape my subject with it, right? So of all these, the beauty dish is going to be the best choice. It's also the furthest one out, so I don't have to move too much stuff, which is, makes a difference. All right. I think we'll go with a little bit of since we're being classic today, normally I would use like a 45, I'd use like a beauty lighting, like a butterfly light, but we'll save that for how to do beauty lighting. And instead, we're gonna go with a kind of a nice 45-degree angle on this. So come forward a little bit, Eric. Yeah, yeah, I know you do.
So they're asking, what if all 3 points come from the same direction? Is it still 3-point lighting?
No. If all the points, so the points is basically the direction of the light, right? Like I said at the beginning, if you had 2 lights or 10 lights in the background, that's still 1 point because it's coming from that one direction. So 3 lights on this side, there's probably some odd variation that somebody's gonna like put a lighting diagram that somebody did, okay, good. But generally speaking, no. If it's coming from one side, it's one light, coming from another side, it's another, yes.
So if this one's pointing at her, you guys, this is considered like one of the points?
This? That's gone. Remember this? This is gone here. So the gentleman in the audience is pointing at one of the set's beautiful lights he has up here, beautiful LED that makes me look so lovely. This is not going to affect our shot at all because when I made a photo, it was black, right? So this will not be. Now, if, let's say I only had 1 light, not to get ahead of myself, and then I wanted to draw some of this in, right? I could do that with my exposure. So David Hobby, the strobist, would always say that if you have 1 flash, when you go into a situation, then you've got 2 lights, right? The light that's there, and then your flash. So we could do that. We could use this as one of our points, but we're not going to, because I think that's cheating. Set those up. I should have thought of it. I could have carried 1 less light here. Man, why didn't you tell me that earlier? All right, come forward a little bit. All right.
I mean, to be fair, we work in a daylight studio.
Yeah, and
that's a big factor,
Yeah. So I'm putting this light at, approximately 45 degrees to Erica, which is going to throw kind of, a little bit of shadow on one side of her face, give her a little bit of shape. It's got a grid on it, so the light's going to stay fairly contained. What this grid in the front does, that's what the thing is in the front here, this keeps the light more narrow, right? It narrows, doesn't focus it just narrows the spread. So we shouldn't get too much light contamination on the rest of the set. So we can kind of really see what we're doing here. And let's get a shot. All right. Did I say all the stuff I was using? Man, I'm losing. All right, so this is a 3-pod tripod. People always ask, so let me get it out of the way now. This is a 3-pod tripod. It's XYZ number 3. If you look in the description, if you're online, you can see which one it is. If you're here and you want to know, you can ask one of the people in the store. It's like a titanium. No, not titanium. What do you call this stuff? Carbon fiber. Titanium is what I got in my skull after I fell off the. So, yeah, this is a Nikon Z6 III, and I'm using a 24 to 120 lens. I'm set about 70 millimeters. We're gonna take a shot with the flash. I'm using TTL, making sure. TTL is through the lens metering. That means that the radio trigger on top of my camera is gonna communicate with the flash and use the meter in my camera to give me what it believes to be the correct exposure. Yeah, did a pretty good job. So there you go. Now we have 1 point. Oh man, I'm not timing this very good. It's only been 9 minutes. Gotta slow down. No, so this is it.
Oh, you're slow. Don't worry about it.
Now remember, like I said before, without any light, we have this. So when we look at our image, we're lighting Erica, right? We're also lighting the background a little bit, right? It's not super bright back there. If you look at the background compared to in the image versus the background to your eye, it's dark, right? Because 2 things. The angle of the light, so it's not hitting it dead on, but also because the light's closer to Erica than it is to the background, right? And that's basically the inverse square law. So I just taught you a little science there. You can just say, whenever a client asks you something and you don't really know the answer, just be like, inverse square. That's because of the inverse square law. So, all right, so we're going to take a quick look and see if we like this exposure. So I like to look at the highlight, the diffused highlight, as Dean Collins would call it, and make sure it's not blowing out. I tend to like my images a bit on the bright side, so this is working for me. If you like them a little bit darker, you can make a change, right? I kind of just look at Erica, look at the picture. It seems right to me. So I think we're good. Now we want to add a secondary light. Now the most obvious secondary light to add is a fill light. That is to bring the shadows up. Because when we look at our shadows, they're, dark, right? We have dark shadows over here. We can bring them up to balance it. And there's lots of ways we can do it, right? It's called 3-point lighting, but really that just means light coming from 3 directions, right? Which means that we don't actually have to use another light. We could use does everybody know what this is? That's a reflector, right? This is at the art store. It's a piece of board. Here, it's a reflector, right? Art store, $1.50. Photo store, $300, right? Boom. We're gonna bounce light off of this. It's gonna come in and make the shadows a bit more filled in. Okay, there we go, right? 2-point lighting. If we think about it, right? What's 1 point? 2. Well, not here, obviously, but when it was over there, right? And we have a nice filled in, even shot. It did not get rid of the shadows completely. This is what you call a passive fill. It doesn't get into fights or anything. It's passive. No, it's passive because it can only send you back the light that is reflected upon it, right? Passive fills can be safe because they'll never be, I always say never, no, never say never. They can never be brighter than the main source, right? Because the inverse square law, if the light bounces and then comes back, it's going further, right? So it can't be brighter. This means you're never going to get that weird thing where you get 2 shadows across the nose. You know what I'm talking about? So this is a good, safe way to light somebody if you're just kind of learning, or if you just only have the $2,000 for the light and the $300 for the reflector.
He's kidding on the chat, okay?
Sorry, Profoto.
He has no good tone of joking voice or comedic skill.
Seth wanted me to bring back my jokes from 2006, so okay. All right. All right. So we've got two lights. There we go.
Jokes
All
in
right.
2006, like, oh, who hates when the mirror stucks on their camera? Who hates that?
The sound of the mirror is so loud. Okay. All right. Now, the obvious thing to do is to add the fill light next, but that's, we just showed you the reflector. So we're going to use a separation light now. This is a strip bank. It's called a strip bank because it's long and narrow, right? So a lot of times you see softboxes, they're like 2 feet this way by 3 feet. This is 1 foot. Also has a grid. This one's an egg crate grid, as you might suspect, because you can put eggs in here, whether it's the right size anyways, but nobody can afford eggs anymore. So, all right, so we're going to use this. I don't know. Actually, the price went down a little bit. All right, so here we go. Let's talk about the grocery shopping is my other main hobby. All right, here we go. We're going to use this to add a separation light. We're basically going to rake it across Erica. I may actually, since we're a little tight in here, I'm going to move the whole set forward or back a little bit like this. Come a little closer to me. Okay.
They're saying if Gavin can reuse his jokes for years, you can also. So you're all right.
All right. That's all we do. I haven't aged out my jokes. I'm getting there. All right. So what we want to do is put this light in place so that it will give us a separation, right? So it's going to cut off, give a cutter across the side of her face. So if you go into position, we don't want to aim it directly at the back of her head because the back of her head is not in our shot, right? What's in our shot? The front of her, right? So we kind of want to send it so it's coming from the back, gives a little bit of separation, and cuts her out. Now, in this space, which is relatively small, it can sometimes be tricky to get it exactly in the right spot, but we're going to do our best here. All right. What we'll do, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to take this light right here, which is in my A group, and I'm going to turn it off. And I'm going to turn on the light that's in my B group, which is the strip. Nope. That is not my B group. I'm going to turn on the light in my C group, which is the strip. There we go. We'll just cut that for the other part from the video. And we can see, you can see the light on my hand. It's probably hard to see for you guys, but you can see it's coming across to the side of her face, right? All right. So we just have the one light going on now. I think it maybe works slightly this way. Yeah, so we can kind of get like a nice, and we're going to bring the light in from the back. Okay. Right. You can see that she's separated. Now, take those two pictures and put them together in Photoshop and you're done. I mean, you know, we don't want to waste pixels. So we can see here that we're using the strip bank because as opposed to, let's say, sometimes I see people say, oh, they used to say to use like a little hard reflector or a grid, right? Something punchy because the hair needs to like shine. Well, anything with light reflecting off, it's going to shine, right? What shine is basically a reflection or of the light source. So since this light's touching your skin, we don't want it to be this blast of brightness, right? We want it to reflect the softness of the long strip. That's why we're using the strip bank. Plus it covers, you know, her shoulder and the side of her face pretty nicely. Obviously it doesn't cover the front of her face because we have a different light for that. The key light, right? It's right here. And because I'm going to have her work a little bit more sideways, I'm actually going to wrap this around a little bit. I just want to kind of illustrate a little more shadows so we can fill in. Okay. That's pretty good. All right, so now this is in place. One thing I like to do when I'm working with multiple lights is, since this one is working for me, it looks good, I'm actually going to switch to manual, which will lock in the exposure, right? Then I'm going to turn it off. Then I'm going to turn my A light back on, put TTL back on. And the reason why I do it like that is because if I turn the A light on first, it would lock in that exposure too. We don't want to do that. And then we're going to get a new A exposure. Now, why did we have to do that? If you were paying attention, hopefully, I moved the light, right? All right, so there we go. So we have A exposure, or an exposure, if you're trying to be, since I run the blog. All right, so here we go. We have nice shadow on the side of her face. We have a nice key light. That's working. I'm going to switch to manual again on my remote. So again, with TTL is an automatic exposure, essentially, that you're using the flashes. The flash is communicating with the remote's communicating with the flash using the camera's meter. When I say I'm switching to manual, I mean I'm switching to manual on the flash. That is to say, it's not going to change its exposure. It's going to stay locked in. The camera has always been on manual. Sometimes that gets confusing. And there we go. That's 2, right? I don't even think we need a fill light. What happens when you say you're going to do 3-point lighting and you only need 2? Man, do you just charge the client for it anyways? I think. No,
you set it up and don't turn it on and then charge them for it.
That's right. That's how you do it.
You're welcome, guys. You're welcome.
All right. So normally, I might add a fill light here, and we'll do that first. But I think ultimately, I don't know if I need a fill light, right? Because where the light's crossing, I don't think we're going to need it. So we're gonna talk about that in a second. But let's get the exposure correct. I think I'm a little bit hot on basically both lights, so I'm going to turn them both down half a stop. Actually, I'm going to turn the background light down 0.8 of a stop, and this one half a stop. Why 0.8 of a stop? Because it was 8.8, and I like a nice round number. There we go. All right. A lot of this you'll get, like balancing your exposure, a lot of it at times you're going to get a feel for it, because it really depends on the light source you're using, the reflectance of the skin, what you're going for, right? And how she turns, right? If Erica turns her face in different angles, that hair light or separation light is going to reflect differently. So we're kind of going to watch that, right? We have a nice kind of bright separation, which I like. It separates her shoulders. She kind of cut from the background. Now that she's moved a little closer and I turn this light, it's barely hitting the background. The background is basically black, right? Not 100%, I don't think, but it's pretty much there. Well, yeah, it's pretty close. Now, we could add a fill light. So the fill light is going to allow us to control this shadow perfectly, right? So we can get this shadow density exactly where we want it. Actually, I'm going off script, not that there was one. Do we have a flag? Well, oh no, we got a black one. I just wanted it to be black. Yeah, I got it. No, I got it black. Okay. This is reflective, so this may not work. But what I'm going to try to do is so this comes down to we were talking about earlier, product photography. A lot of times when you're photographing products, this comes in a lot. you can effectively reflect back onto the product black, right? Which will help control where your highlights fall. So if we bring this black reflector in, right, it's gonna hopefully give us a little bit denser of a shadow. Now, if you're just watching, you might think that I'm basically just blocking these lights, but again, these lights are not doing anything.
It's doing something. It's the footprint that we left on that board. You'll see.
Yeah. Not so much. Nah, I mean, a little bit, but not really noticeable. This is subtlety, and on bottom bottle, you'll notice it more. Okay, so let's not do that.
It's really good for blocking specular highlights more than an actual exposure. And a specular highlight is an actual reflection of the light source on your subject.
Exactly. Oh, okay. All right, so I'm going to add a fill light in. Put it over here. So one of the things that we'll find if you go back to that lighting book, like you go on Amazon or whatever. Oh, did I say that? And buy a bunch of lighting diagram books. Don't do that. Don't do useless. They're going to take that fill light and they're going to put it over here, right? And you might think that's a good idea. But if I put the fill light opposite my key light and I don't balance it perfectly, what am I going to get? Cross shadows. We don't want that. The simplest and easiest way to fill is from the direction of the camera. That way, any shadows that are created will go behind Erica, right? It's called on-axis fill. Okay, excess. It's an axis, but axis. I can speak today.
It's the first demo of the year, guys. Let's.
I probably should not have drank all that whiskey before I came up. That puts us just out of reach. I got it.
Not allowed near the stove either. What are you doing?
That makes everything just out of my reach, like a cookie jar.
He wears Converse. It's easy.
It's true. All right. I didn't want to climb up the rack because he gets mad. All right. The whole thing comes flying. All right, so we're going to take this. A lot of times I put it behind me, but just for today, because it's a little tight in here, I'm going to take off my sweatshirt. Excuse me.
Oh, it's getting serious.
It's getting serious here. I mean, I'm glad I didn't wear my tuxedo.
Look at this. If Dan had a hat, he would put it backwards right now. Amazing.
Turn that hat around. It's like a switch. Yes, I am quoting. What is that movie with the arm wrestling?
Over the top.
Over the top.
Nobody's the only one's laughing at this. Let's go, Dan. Let's go.
Oh, okay.
You can pull hats. We can pull out of that dome of yours.
Okay, it was the only reference I knew of about turning a hat around. Oh yeah. So luckily I have Eric here to let me know that I'm blocking the lens. Yeah. So we're gonna move this in close to the camera. So it's effectively coming from the direction of, and we're gonna fill in. Yeah. All right. So, that's good. All right, so now, because this is here, it's going to kind of come in and fill it. I'm keeping it relatively flat. What is going to happen, though, is we're going to get a little bit of light in the background. But, you know. Okay, Sarah. All right, so. Yeah. All right, and we're going to get some reflection off the strip. That's actually right. All right, so I'm turning on this light, which is the B group, and I'm going to put it in TTL. And the goal here is to create a fill light, right? So we're going to have you look in the normal direction, okay? Okay, so we can see garbage. Now, the goal here with the fill light is that it should look like this. Like this is like just bad, right? Like when you look at that, you're like, really? That's what you did? Because we're just trying to fill in the shadow, right? This is meant to go where the key light didn't. I mean, actually, it's not too bad, but it's all right.
I'm gonna edit that.
Garbage. So this is actually not as bad as it could have been. The light is flat. The exposure is accurate, which we don't want because this is supposed to be a fill light, right? We want it to be darker than our key light. So now I'm going to look at this and go, and I'm going to grab my exposure slider and I want to see how much I need to bring it down. I'm guessing probably like 2 stops. 2-ish to bring us right to the edge of our shadows. Remember which is at 2 stops. So if we go there, that's where it'll fill light will be. That'll be pretty good. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to this. I'm gonna set it in manual. And if you have a client, you can do this fast. You don't have to like explain it all and make the jokes and everything.
You have to make the over-the-top joke. You have to find some obscure 80s movie.
There is not a person here who has seen that movie yet.
It's actually a really fun movie.
Yeah. It's pretty good. All right. I have to go watch that movie now. I have not seen that since I was a kid. All right. There we go. All right. All right. That's a fill light, right? It's underexposed. It's going to fill in our shadows. Now we have that locked in. I'm going to turn all the lights back on. And I remember it's not in TTL. Turn off all these modeling lights so I don't waste my batteries. And we're going to make a shot. So Erica's going to look very sophisticated. And we've got a nice filled in controlled shot, right? So the key to a fill light is that it should, the key to the fill light is that it should look very subtle. So this is subtle. That's with the key light, the fill light, sorry. And this one, oh, sorry. Yep, thank you. And that's what I just wanted to show both. So now it is, I know I messed it up. No, it's the last two. That should be with and without fill. I don't know what's going on over here. All right, so there we go. We got variation of shots. This is just no separation light. This is separation light and fill. And then this one here is no fill. So you can see that the fill light allows us to really sculpt, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. This one has the fill light, so I can see it in her eyes.
They're all talking about this movie now in the show.
Yeah. All right, so here we have a crafted light. Now, again, let me turn it back on. Good. Oh, shot 2 shots there. That's the motor drive, as they say. All right, and we can see how we have this, like, see how beautiful that is? Now, if we wanted to, we could have a little bit more shadow by just turning this light down more, right? But we don't want to go all the ways off. Let's say another half a stop. Okay. See, we're just adding that a little bit more shadow. Or if we want it to be flatter, I could go back up. And see, this is the advantage of the active. Oh, for a second, focus. That's the advantage of the active fill, right? The active fill allows us to control how much fill we have, right? Unlike the passive fill. Man, I kind of want a 4-point light now. That's actually pretty clean. All right.
I'll give it to you, Dan.
Let me take a second.
It's very important that nobody claps for Dan.
Yeah, nobody definitely don't clap for. Don't never clap for 3-point lighting. This is like basic stuff. All right. Oh man, we got all kinds of time. Questions? We're flying through this thing. No questions. It was so clear.
Right there. Are you kidding me?
Oh, I couldn't see you over there. You were hiding in the shadow.
If you use the like a Softbox, sorry, Octa instead of the strip blocks, how would that affect the image?
And it's saying, the question is, if I use an Octabox here, are you saying switch these 2 light sources, or are you saying here and there both Octas?
Both Octas. How would that affect the light?
So what's going to happen is if I use an octagon here, because it is a bigger light source, it's going to come out, right? It's going to wrap around the side of her face more, and it's going to come up and maybe even hit her in the nose.
That would create more like the dual shadows in a sense.
And it could create that, or an extra highlight, depending on your yeah. So you want, that's why a strip is so useful, because you can get it so it doesn't hit her in the nose, basically. Okay. Yeah. I mean, or you could block part of it if that's all you had, right? It's not like, but the strip makes it very convenient. That's why we have the different shapes. Questions? Yes.
I mean, just for a point of reference, like how powerful are each like light? Like, what number is the key on? And...
Sure. So this is like Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman. No. Let's see. So the question is, how powerful are they? If you didn't get that online when they didn't have person. All right. So the key light is at 7.3, which is about what's that, like 25% power. The hair light's on 8, which is exactly 25% power, and this one's at about this one's at maybe 5 stops under. So you're looking at maybe like 8 or 9%, something like that. Yeah. So they're not set very high, but my exposure I'm getting with them, right? Because we can look at it, is basically we're getting the exposure of 7.1, right? This one's a little bit brighter, right? So if we had a light meter, which I didn't bring with me today, this one's, yeah, that's probably a better way to do this. Because the relative power from the units only really matters if you're maxing out, right? Or if you're so low that you can't control it. So, but that's a really good question. So if we take these lights, yes, sir? Go ahead, Seth.
The actual number value of the power on your strobe is not the exposure. It fluctuates up and down based on the distance, what's in front of it, everything to get you to the exposure you set in your camera.
Right.
So if you said, oh, I'll always put this at 7.3, it'll always be f8. No, it won't. Right? If it's 5 inches away or 5 feet away, that makes a big difference. That 7.3 didn't mean anything. So the power fluctuates based on your exposure. That's it.
Yeah, so one good way if you're making notation, did I just lock this? Okay. One good way if you're making notation, like let's say you're drawing a diagram, is to either write, what I normally do is write the exposure at the camera, and then I will note each light based on that. So this one is on exposure, right? This one is overexposure by X amount. This one is underexposure by a certain amount, right? That way you can, but let's use a meter to see, because that's a really good question. Let's see. Should be able to fire all of them. That should be fun. All right, so I'm gonna, actually I'll fire them all independently, because that takes longer.
Well,
Nothing like dead air.
what he means is he wants to actually see what
Yeah,
each light
I want to see what they actually are. So actually, our camera set at 7.1. That Beauty Dish is actually set as actually reading 9, right? The fill light,
Are you doing 9 to the light or are you doing 9 to the lens?
9 to the light.
Okay.
Right, because, okay, yeah, let me explain that too. So when you're metering, right, that's good, right? You do these things so often, right? And you think maybe people will follow that. There's two kind of schools of thought as to how we meter. You either meter at the light, right? Or you measure towards the camera. If you measure towards the light, the whole dome of the meter is catching the light, right? If I measure towards the camera and the light's to the side, it will actually read darker because part of it is in shade, right? So as long as you're consistent, that's what matters. So I will be consistent.
Would it be differently if she was further back? Like,
Oh yeah, sure, 100%. So I don't even have to move. Yeah, so there you go. So would it read differently if she was further back? 3.6. How many stops is that? Yes, a lot. Okay. What was I doing? I was reading all the lights. Okay, so that's at 9. So our B light, you're back where you were?
I'm back where I was.
All right,
Should I
perfect.
Go back further again.
No, go back where you were. Stay where you were. I'm sorry. A, we turn it off. B, no, that's C.
See, but what Dan is doing is more apt than knowing the power of the light. So let's say you're trying to get to f8 at all, you can measure it and just get your light adjusted till it reads the exposure you want. It's not whatever this, that if we had white floors, that might be a totally different exposure.
So
You know?
here's the thing, right? Again, on the device, this light is set at 8, right? This one's set at 7.3. When I read them, the key light is reading F9, right? The hair light is reading F4, right? So this is actually, even though it looks brighter on her skin, it's actually, what's that, 2 stops less, 2.5 stops of power that's actually hitting her, because oftentimes backlights will seem brighter because of the way that they're hitting the face. So if you're trying to repeat something, a meter is a useful thing to actually document that. I think that's probably the moral of the story here. But since I'm here, I want to read the fill light as well. And again, I'm always pointing at the light because this one's reading 3.6. So just slightly under this as far as like the actual exposure. Yeah, that's a good question though. Thank you. Look at that light meter. So it was like 2006. I just used a light meter the other day, actually.
We're all very proud of you too.
I know.
He's a photographer that used a light meter the
I
other
know,
day.
it's
amazing.
impressive.
All right.
A lot of times people will be like, hey, I see you. You use the light meter.
I just want to go on record. He tied his own shoes today too,
did,
by the way,
yeah.
guys. I want you to know that.
Well, not both of them, but yes. All right, so let's play around with some variations. Let's do a background light, right? Instead of, let's say, a separation light. Or actually, let's do it instead of the fill light. Because I feel like the fill light's not as necessary if we want a bit of drama. And I think I like a little bit of drama. You know, you can tell by,
We love drama.
yeah, hanging out with me.
I mean, you watched Over the Top. How
I
could
did
you
watch
not
Over
like
the Top.
drama? You know, guys arm wrestling for his kid.
That's right, yeah. How else are you going to do it so that the businessmen won't tear down the roller rink? No, that's a different movie.
We have to dance or they will tear down our warehouse at home.
We'll put that back up there in storage. All right, so I'm just going to use a bare head for this because I feel like it. Yeah. This is B, right? All right, so let's get Erica back in place and let's get kind of working out a lighting scenario again that we like. So again, key light is here. This is an A. I'm actually going to completely start from scratch because, you know, when you're changing up your lighting, it's a good idea to do that just so you can really feel where you're at. So I'm going to turn off B and C, and we're just going to go with the key light again. All right, here we go. All right, so again, we have that contrast, right? And actually, yeah, work towards the camera this time, so it'll be a little more contrasty. I'm changing my composition a little bit to add a little bit of flavor. 2 shots again. I must have the motor drive on. Yeah, there we go. It's kind of nice, right? Almost a Rembrandt. Almost, not quite. Almost a Rembrandt. Almost, not quite.
That's it.
I'm all of a sudden the stream drops.
You filled your Rembrandt quota for the year.
Right.
That's
yeah,
it.
that's it. No more Rembrandt references for the rest of the year. All right, so that's good. Now we're going to go with our backlight again, which is in the C group. Oh, goofed up. I messed up there. That's okay though. I can do it like that. What I mean by when I messed up is I turned it off before I switched to manual. I just switched it though, so we're back on. All right, so C group. It's our backlight. It's going to rip around. Here, I kind of intentionally did this. You see, even with the strip bank, we're hitting her in the nose with it, right? So if this is the case and you don't want that, which we don't want that, nobody wants that, we have to reconsider the positioning of our separation light. So we will. We're going to go like that. If you want to like look cool, by the way, a little advice here. Whenever you're using one of these strip banks, going to give it a little Dutch angle.
If there's anyone that can teach you to look cool, look no further than a guy with zip-off pants that come into shorts.
He's turning into shorts. That's right. Any weather I'm ready for.
Don't defend him. Don't defend him.
Practically like Iron Man.
That's right. Practically like Iron Man.
When he's hitting that arm
I like
wrestling
that look.
circuit, he unzips them when he needs that extra boost, you know?
You're killing me over here. I've only got to make like 20 more minutes. All right. Background light. We got a little tilt going. Oh, still a little bit while we're in a tight space. Okay. If that's happening, a couple of options. We can just, let's turn the model light. Well, I wasn't going to cheat. But yeah, we can, let's see, come a little forward. A little more. Yeah, that should do it. Oh, okay, nice. And then turn your face slightly this way. There we go. I'm going into something a little different here. I'm feeling something different here. I'm feeling it. She's not going to be as straight on as she was before, as I was planning. That's okay, though. We're going to lose her.
Gonna stay straight. That was crazy that you said that.
Yeah, I know. I never go straight on. I was trying to be different. Never be. This is a lesson to be learned here. Don't be different. Just be like everybody else. It's okay. Nobody likes an individual. Oh, no worries. Okay. Oh, yeah. We're starting off strong here. All right. So, okay. Oh, I suppose I should show your eyes in here. Okay. All right. Oh. Okay. All right. Sorry, I'm gonna have to take a break for a second here.
No, yeah, if there's something you've earned, it's a break.
I've definitely earned. I mean, I have to pause for a second on this one. All right, let's put a light in the background. I have this light here in the background, strategically placed. I don't know. I walked up to it. There was really no reason for that. I'm sure they could see it with the 17 cameras we have in here. By the way, this is the best multicam system you're going to find in New York City. Straight up.
Thanks to Nikon for giving us the.
Yeah. All right, this is just a background light. Nice. Right. That's not a mistake. I did that on purpose. So you can see that we're just lighting one side like a gradation. Now we're going to turn on the other lights as well. Or I can turn everything off, one or the other. Okay, I'm going to take this. I'm going to do something a little bit different here. And this light here, which is the B, I'm actually going to, normally you've seen me do these lights independently. If you're working with TTL, this is for you, Yoav. You can actually set a ratio within the controller. So I'm going to set this backlight at -2 stops. What that's going to basically do is tell the camera and the light, be like, hey, like I appreciate your exposure, but really we don't need that much. If you could just kind of bring it down a little bit for me, and then it'll usually say, yeah, usually. All right, the A light is going to be good. I don't know why I pressed there, but it worked. All right, good. Yeah, let's just do it. All right.
Did you mix the lights up?
I think so.
Did Daniel Norton mix his ABCs up? Is that what just happened?
It does happen.
You know,
To be fair, he was spending all day with a puzzle where this round peg had to go in this hole, and he was trying to. It's the first one of the year, Dan. Get ready.
come on. All right, so I'm just going to raise these two lights up 2 stops. Oh, yeah, let me show you something here. So let's say that you don't like this image. Maybe you think that it's dark. I don't know. So when we look at it, now again, I'm only looking at our skin tone here because I think the background is perfect. It's weird, but it's perfect. If we grab capture 1 and we grab our exposure slider up, we can bring it up until, and again, don't look at the background. I said not to look at the background. All right, so we can bring it up until the exposure is good on our face. About right there. And then we can look here.
You know you can do them independently.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. So that's going to teach us something about capture 1.
Is this the new version?
Interlude. Yeah, this is the new version. I have Studio.
Watch.
All right, here we go.
Pick
I'm watching.
subject. Now it's just your subject. When you get
Oh.
past your ancient tiny laptop, but
This is a MacBook Pro.
look. So now it just selects her, right?
Oh,
So now you can
oh,
do just
oh,
the exposure.
put her on a cornfield.
You can do just the exposure on her, though.
Oh, nice.
All right.
Man, what do we need lights for? You know, guys, just get the software. It works. Okay, no, perfect. Thank you.
But to be fair, he's trying to see something in real time,
No, that's
right?
perfect. Yes, thank you.
So, we modernize here, Dan. We don't just watch 80s movies and pray that manual lights work.
It's like a machine. I just. All right, I'm gonna bring a cap in next time. All right. So, anyways, we're gonna have to have that, but the onset cap. All right. Okay, so.
What is going on here?
There it is. Okay. All right. Something weird's happening here. So we'll edit that part out. We'll just start over. All right. So here we go. I'm just going to go straight up TTL. And we saw what happened the last time. Basically, if you take your lights and you put them in TTL, and then you have a very strong backlight, oftentimes you'll get your front lights will kind of be underexposed. So that may happen again. Let's just see. And we're going to work our way through this. If it's any other problem, we're just going to work. What's going on with my tether? All right. We got a little slowness going on here. I was still trying to select the subject. All right, perfect. All right, so we're back where we were. When you're lost, it's always good to go back where you were. Wait for your parents to come find you. All right, so here we are. And we can see that she's a little underexposed. The background's a little bit bright. So now we're going to come in here. I'm going to throw it in manual. And every light right now is set at 4. They're in unison. So I'm going to take my backlight, which is over there, which is a B, and I'm going to turn that down 2 stops because we want that to be darker. Okay, I'm going to do one at a time just to kind of show you guys how this is working. Plus, I got to milk the rest of this demo. All right, so darker, good, right? Now, I'm going to bring the key light up 2 stops, which is the A light. Okay. Good. Nice. Little more. little more. No? What do you think? It's on you. You're making this decision for the whole world is watching. Should it be brighter than that? No, I think so. You think it's perfect. I also think it's perfect. Yeah. I also think that. Thank you. Thank you for saying I'm perfect. All right. See, there's this light here. We can see is also very dark. Is it moving at all? Yeah, it is. Okay. Okay. I'm going to bring that one up 4 stops. Because remember, before when we did our metering, that light was 2.5 stops under this light to look normal. More powerful, I should say. Boom. All right. Oh, we got a little drama going on here. I'm going to work it this way a little bit. Okay. You know what we need? A color gel. We need a color gel. Does everybody want a color gel? Yeah. I mean, come on.
Don't patronize him.
What do we got?
Hey, you got 15 packs over there.
All right. What color should we? What color? Red.
Clear,
Blue.
clear. I
Clear.
heard clear.
Clear. There is actually a clear gel. There's like this clear gel that you can buy that's like 3 times the price of regular gel, but you put it between the light and the regular gel to make the regular gel not fade as quickly in color. It's called a protector gel or something like that. Eric is gonna take a color for us
Oh,
We're gonna do Daniel's favorite color,
I
plaid.
like you on blue.
on top, right? Or do you like
Yeah.
pink?
No, I love pink.
All right, we're gonna do pink. Everybody likes pink.
Yay.
It's like the Pink Pony Club.
Ancient pack that no one,
Why are they so thick?
because it's the ancient pack no one uses. I told you, I gave you like 16 minutes.
What about this one? What about this, Daniel? This is close.
Like a pale lavender.
That's a little less thick. I don't know what that is, but that looks kind of subtle. Oh, but here's the
That
pink.
might be a beauty gel.
Here's
For
the
those of you online, don't leave. I know he just learned colors today. He's getting through it, guys. He's getting through it.
So when you want to know what a gel is going to look like, I don't know if I should give this away. This is a pro tip. You look through it. I need tape or some manner to use this.
clips? You want clips? Or you want tape or clips?
I'm going to tell them I'm using clips, but I'm going to use tape. Never put tape on your lights. But these aren't my lights.
Yeah, they're not your lights. Knock yourself out. It's a
Thank
big
you.
day for you. Look at you.
I know, look at that. I got a whole strip of tape here. We're doubling up on this gel.
So for the first timers here, when you know Daniel's dying when he starts pulling out gels to wow the crowd. Just want to let you
Yeah.
know.
Well, you know, I think every once in a while you got. This is what we used to use before there was LEDs. All right, good. All right. It's pink. In theory.
maybe.
If it's not pink, we're just going to fix it in post. All right. Oh, what was that sound? Oh, yeah, look at that. It's pink.
What is your motor?
I have no idea. All right, so we got to adjust a couple things here. I think it's still too bright, right? We want it to really look. So I'm going to take that background light, which is in the B group, and I'm going to lower that down another 1.5 stops. I'm going to have Erica work towards this and bring her chin up a little bit. Yeah, good. There we go. Now we just have this very subtle, I don't know if you can even see it on TV. Maybe I'll give it a little more light
Well, I would swing it.
towards her. All right. This is called turning the light. All right, here we go. This is the thumbnail for next time. So here we go. All right. Nice.
What is that?
Yeah. All right, let me bring it up. It's too subtle.
So he's not even at 1 stop. On that.
Yeah. I was at 0.5 power. Okay, I don't want another light. Can we do? All right, fine. No, I'll just. That is true. You charge more if you have more lights, but I'll move this over a little bit. All right, the light's slightly in the shot, but we're gonna actually. I don't want to. No, you can stay where you are. Yeah.
No, I have to move.
All right. Well, I'm trying to decide if I want to, because the thumbnail provides. Okay, that's a little better. So that's gonna fix it. I'm just moving on. He wants to be brighter. I'm more of a dark, moody pink person. Okay. That's pink. All right, look a little bit towards the light. Seth's not as moody as we are. You would think Seth to be more moody than we are, but he's not. Me and Eric.
Someone hired me so I can leave.
All right, so now this separation light's a little hot, so I'm just going to bring it down a little bit. This is at 8, so we're going to go down to 6.7, which was the aperture of my first, maximum aperture of my first large format camera.
It's a little underexposed, huh?
Yeah, but no, she said it was perfect. Didn't I ask you if the exposure was good? And you said yes. You did say that, right? You're not going to back down now, right? Yeah, yeah. Seth says it's dark. I don't know, man. All right, let's check. If we thought that it was a little bit dark, we could just turn everything up. Or if it's just like the client telling us that, the trick is you go over to exposure and you go, oh, no, you know, you're right, sir. It is a little dark. There you go. We'll fix it later. No, so that says if you're unsure, like if you were on set and you were like, I don't really want to brighten it because I think the lights are perfect, but it was a little dark, you could come into Capture One and do this, but know that I'm adjusting the file, right? Or we could just come in and add, what's that, 0.35? Fine, I'll add 0.35.
Yeah, but also I know we're kind of joking around, but if he does do the point whatever, and you go, you know, I'm not sure, you can go before and after, right?
Yep.
You can literally see in real time where you're at, right?
Yeah.
So don't overlook the simplest features of, you know, do and undo. You know what I mean? So
That's the old slider,
the old slider.
the old slider technique.
That was Dan's name in college. All right. Hold on, I'm overexposing you.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. That's what the shot is.
Mhm.
I see that looks more on skin tone to me.
Yeah, that's right. Now, there's a tiny little bit of light hitting Erica in the nose, which I actually like. I love that little highlight, but I know some people wouldn't like it. So I'm just going to have her bring her nose a tiny bit more that way. No, on her nose. There,
Oh, I
that's
see.
gone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
right
good.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine.
I actually like that, but you know, some people don't like the light on the nose. If you read that book on posing that I was talking about before that you should have thrown away, they would tell you not to put the light on the nose. But you know, I got it. All right. Oh, we're gonna. Oh, that's a 4-point.
I don't care.
Just shoot the shot.
Yeah.
Not silver. We should do.
No, I did. So I did a very low, very off angle white, which takes the shadow density and opens it. So it's still the shadow, but we break it a little bit. We open up that density. So you get the look of the shadow, but not the intensity of the shadow.
Right. It's passive fill. I did that.
It's
earlier.
passive fill, according to Daniel Norton.
You got to name stuff. People like names. Work your nose a little bit this way. Now Seth has authorized me to use 4-point lighting. I just want to take the shadow out. There we
Yeah,
go.
well, I
Perfect.
mean, look how clean that looks, right? That draw
is.
line's
That's
there,
clean.
but it's not.
It's clean.
I always have to clean up your stuff. I have
That's
to wipe
true.
your nose. You did tie one shoe today, though.
That's
I'll
right.
give you that.
Sometimes, you know, you need somebody to clean you up. That's what friends are for.
You know what's good
Question-
though?
yeah,
The
go.
only color in here is that pink and her lip tone matching that pink. So you're not, you know, it all ties, you know?
Yeah.
I'm making this up on the spot so you guys think we know what we're talking about.
We may or may not have done that on purpose. That's right. That's right. So this person from the audience who we've never seen before had it up her sleeve the whole time. All right. Questions? Yep. You again? Wow. Okay.
Angle of the key light, or like the height of the key light.
How did I do it? Like, how did I choose it? The key light angle? Sure. Okay. So basically, again, you're thinking about your key light is basically shaping your subject's face, right? So a big part of it is looking at their face and deciding what you want to show off. You know, having photographed Erica many times, I know she has really great cheekbones coming here and a nice jaw like that. So I want the light to be slightly up so I can throw the shadow down to shape that, right? If you wanted to reduce that or add, if somebody had a different shaped face, you might want to bring the light in a slightly different position. But generally speaking, you want to put it above eye level, if you get kind of a place to start, and roughly as close to the subject as the size of the light source. So if you just kind of, where do I put it? That's a good place to start. And then you'll be like everybody else, like I said, which is the best thing you should do. All right, other questions? Not from you again. No, I'm joking. Yes, sir.
In which situations would you use those like concave?
I would never use that. But no, the question is, no, I might use it. So why would you use one of those concave reflectors? Well, Why would I use this? If the shadow is coming under here and I want to fill both sides in. So let's say that I lit her from the center and we had direct shadow under her chin. This would allow us to fill in both sides evenly, right? So that'd be like that. You're talking about one of those? Yeah, except you're talking about the ones that are made for that. Yeah. You don't want this janky stuff. You want something that looks good. Yeah, no, but yeah, that's what you're talking about. When you want to fill in. So if you're lighting somebody from the middle and down, that's when I would use something like that. Oftentimes, maybe with an umbrella, right? Because the umbrella will give you enough light to kick back up. That makes sense?
And a lot of people lean on it for the shape of
Yeah.
the catch light going around the eye.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, that's kind of what we were doing here. Like when Seth came in with this fill, like he didn't go like this, like I did earlier, right? He brought it in like that, right? Which is basically doing one side of it. Because I've only got light from one side. Make sense? Yeah. Questions? No? Uh-oh. Yes.
The separating light, why did you not want it to touch your nose? Like, I know you-
Because people hate that. Why do I not want to touch your nose? Because people hate when you have light touch somebody's nose. No, it just draws attention to it. Oftentimes your eye is drawn to the brightest thing in the scene, and people generally don't want a lot of attention drawn to their noses. I mean, I'm very proud of my nose. Erica has a beautiful nose, so it's cool. But a lot of people, they're like, my nose, really? That's what you're highlighting? It's like, yeah.
Also, a highlight tends to elongate.
Yeah,
And so that's why people tend to go like, oh.
right.
They don't have to
Stretches
talk
it towards the lens. Yeah, it can depend. I like my light to look a little bit more organic, right? And a little more raw. If you want it super refined, you definitely don't want any kind of those kind of lights. Yep.
You could control the amount of fill with the card by the distance, right? Like closer.
I can control the amount of fill with the card by the distance. Oh, I can, yeah. I mean, you can't. Yeah, that's exactly it. No, you're right. See, even coming along enough, you learn something. Yeah, the closer the light is to the subject, the more it will fill in, right? But at this point, we had it as close as it could get. Other questions? Thoughts? Concerns? Another concern? Wow, he didn't raise his hand until concerns. So now I'm a little nervous. Yes.
So with the fill light in front of the camera, same angle as the camera.
Yeah.
Do you ever want it at a different angle, like a above angle or a below angle, or just always pair those to camera lens?
So would I want the fill light at a different angle besides at the camera position? That's the safe way to fill. The most obvious time we would want something different would be something called clamshell lighting, where your key light is coming from above and the fill would be below. But even then, like this is not how you do it. You see people do this all. This is not you want to do clamshell with. I'm gonna break my wrist where the light is more flat. You don't want it to look up because again, if I come up, then it looks like horror movie lighting.
Not if you do it right. Just saying.
Not if you do it right. Yep. Yep.
You got a question online.
An online question.
And he's asking, the larger the light source, the less you're going to need a fill light? Question mark. I'm going to guess that's.
The larger the light source, the less you're going to need fill light. Well, I mean, the larger the light source, the more the light is likely to wrap around if it's close. The larger the light source, the softer it is, so your shadow transition is going to be more gentle. So, yeah, you might be less likely to want the fill light because you don't, it'll be flat image already. But if you put the large light source right to the side, you're still going to have a lot of shadow. So it kind of depends on what you're doing. Honestly, I probably think I would use a fill light more often with a large source, even though I just said no, because that's when I'm using a large source, it's because I want to cover up any texture, and that fill is going to help do that. So it depends on your goals. Okay, that's cool. Seth's kicking me off.
It's
Anything
always-
else?
yes, that's what I'm.
All right, I'll be back in 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks?
Sure.
29th. We're doing mode dial. We're going to talk about, listen, I've seen that Instagram ad way too many times where it's like M equals professional. Come on the 29th, we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about program automatic aperture priority, why you use these things, what they're for, and why they still exist even in something like a flagship camera like the Nikon Z9, right? So this is Seth Miranda, last X witness. The X is silent. Erica Lynn NYC. I'm Daniel Norton. Make sure you subscribe. Nope, you didn't put the thing up.
Just
Subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, do the QR codes. All right, do all that stuff. We'll see you next time.
That was a horrible dismount. Thanks, guys. Hit subscribe, hit like, take a.